Now listen, you might find it hard to believe, and frankly I did too, because as a person who prides himself on always sort of questioning things and asking why, and a person who always spends a hell of a lot of time traveling on aeroplanes, I have never ever asked the question, why do airline seats face forward, until today. I was on a plane from Maldives to Sri Lanka, landed here in Colombo a few hours ago, and for some reason I thought, why is it that these airline seats are always facing forward? And it turns out it's nothing to do with safety. Some people think it's safety related. It's really not. In fact, there's research that would suggest that in the event of an impact, you're better off with a rear-facing seat than a front-facing seat, because your head and neck and shoulders are kind of more supported by the seat. But let's face it, in the event of an airplane impact, it probably doesn't matter where you're sitting anyway, right? You're done. Other people think maybe it's motion sickness related, that for some people going in the opposite direction when they're sitting on trains and in cars, it causes motion sickness, car sickness, motion sickness. That's not really the factor, because it's only really on taxi, takeoff and landing where that forward motion dynamic really comes into it. It seems that the main reason that airline seats face forward is because that's kind of the way it's always been done. It's just been the way it was always set up. So it's really a convention thing. Now, the interesting thing though is the reason it stays that way today is that if we were all of a sudden to now start doing rear-facing seats, it would require more support at the rear of the seat, because all of a sudden there'll be a lot more pressure on the rear of the seat. Right now, I guess some of our pressure is being taken up by our feet because we're going forward. But if you were to flip them around, you would now need to install additional support, which is obviously going to come at an extra cost, and more importantly, come at an extra weight, which is then going to add more to the fuel consumption of the plane, which of course is not going to be very well accepted by the airlines. So there it is. That is the reason why airline seats, by and large, there are some exceptions, but that's why airline seats face forward.